How's it going, everyone? And it's happy days here at Stop Talk Sports because Arsenal just won 3-0 against Nottingham Forest this past morning. Now, I'm going to do some quick match reactions on what happened in today's game. We're going to go through chronologically on some of the events of the game, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on who the man of the match of today's game is before we wrap it up. But we're going to start and kick off by looking at the lineup. And Eberechi Eze had his first start today for Arsenal. It was his first game also at the EMIRATES. And what I found actually very interesting was that this is the first time we have seen a new front three at Arsenal, I think probably for the last 4 years. I don't know about you guys, but I've been very used to Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Havertz, even Trossard being in our starting lineup. So it was very interesting to see three new names, three fresh faces on that starting front line. And all three of them went on to actually having an impact in today's game. It all started by some good early possession by Arsenal. We looked very solid at the back once again. We are quickly looking like an absolute force in defense this season. We've only conceded once so far this season in 4 games, and it was to a wonder goal by Szoboszlai last week at Anfield. So we didn't really give much away in terms of chances, and the first goal came through a beautiful strike by Martin Zubimendi where he caught it on the volley at the edge of the box after a corner by SayYesToMadueke. And it was one of those volleys. I don't know if you guys have actually played the sport, but you know those ones where you contort your body just a little bit just to make sure that you get that nice strong connection to it. And a lot of us, I know that I do, you kind of put too much connection into it and usually it will go way above the ball or it will go way wide. But he caught it just perfectly, timed it perfectly, and it rifled right past Cells, and it gave us the lead going into the half. Now, I do want to touch on some key performances that we've had before I go on to the next 2 goals that we scored in the evening. Mikel Merino, he came under a lot of scrutiny. Mikel Arteta also came a lot of scrutiny starting him at Anfield last week. I was one of those people that thought that we might have went with maybe Eze starting either in the 10 position or having Ethan Nwaneri start there since he's the deputizer for Martin Odegaard. But we saw him come in, and although we looked great defensively, it was very evident to everybody that we lacked something going forward. And watching this game today, I actually come to the conclusion that it's not playing Mikel Merino that's the issue in some of these games. It could be who he's partnering in midfield. Now, stay with me here. I believe that Mikel Merino and Declan Rice don't really work well together. I think they occupy some of the same spaces. They have some of the same attributes when it comes to the way they approach the football, although Mikel Merino has a bit more guile and technique in some of his turns and approaches with the ball. I do think that they do try to do the same thing when they're in the lineup, whereas Zubimendi complements both perfectly in the way that he will deal with the first phase of play in a more reliable way than Declan Rice or Mikel Merino can, while also making sure he puts out fires while the other is up front in attacking positions. So what I've noticed in today's game especially is that Merino went on to having actually a really good game in my opinion today. And a lot of that has to do with some of the balanced midfield partnership that he had with Zubimendi today. I felt like they complemented each other very well. And I think Declan Rice also does the same with Zubimendi, where I think now we could be seeing a little more Merino in midfield action than we did last year, simply due to the availability of that Martin Zubimendi provides us. So as the season goes on, I think that we will see Merino in that midfield positions a little more so than we do see him deputizing in that number 9 role. And I do think that when we do see him in midfield, I'm almost certain that we'll see one of either Odegaard or Zubimendi playing in there with him. So I think there's something interesting building in this Arsenal squad where you have certain players building certain partnerships with players. And I think it's really great to see. Another partnership I do want to touch on is the partnership that Gabriel Magalhaes and Mosquera are building. They are looking like a real unit. Now, if you had told me 2 years ago that William Saliba would be going down to an injury in the first to second game of the season, that could see him being out for 3 to 4 weeks, I think there would be real depressive symptoms that I'll be showcasing to you all. I would find it catastrophic to our season, especially the beginning of our season, if we had him missing. Mosquera completely eliminates all that doubt. And for the price tag that we got him in, he is quickly looking like the buy of the summer in terms of value versus price. And it's not just Mosquera. Let me list you some names that were omitted from the lineup today altogether. Bukayo Saka, William Saliba, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Ben White, Gabriel Jesus. These are prominent figures in our squad over the last couple of years. And them being gone, it looked like we didn't even miss a beat. If anything, it looks like we're starting to build even more exciting partnerships moving forward. Most notably Eze on that left-hand side with Calafiori and Merino. I thought they were finding a nice little combinations in there at times. On the right-hand side with Bukayo Saka out, SayYesToMadueke really came in and stepped up and is showing that he is a actual viable option for that position moving forward. Eze Gyokeres, who's come under a lot of unfair scrutiny and criticisms, in my opinion. He now has 3 goals in 4 games, and he's looking like he's building some sort of understanding with Eberechi Eze, who assisted his second goal, Arsenal's second goal, his 3rd goal of the season, right at the start of the second half. I think I almost missed it. I just put the TV on, and Eberechi Eze was put through by Calafiori over the top. One time left-footed pass across the goal, and Eze Gyokeres was at the right place at the right time to tap it home. Went ahead and pulled out the celebration, and Arsenal are 2-0 to the good. Great pieces of play started happening between the second and third goal, where Arsenal really started to flex some of their muscle in the game. You started to see some combinations that Jorian Timber was having with SayYesToMadueke. Ethan Nwaneri, who came on very early from Martin Odegaard, he was looking very bright, and he was having neat 1-2s with SayYesToMadueke. Eze Gyokeres was starting to get more link-up play, where he was putting in Eberechi Eze on one side, SayYesToMadueke on the other. And then you saw some substitutions come in. Trossard came on, and he actually went on to assisting the 3rd goal, where he put in a nice little dink into the right back post. Martin Zubimendi comes on and puts in a beautiful looping header, and he puts us 3 to the good. And who knew that Zubimendi was actually this lethal of a goal scorer? Both strikes was of supreme technical quality, and if he's able to pop in with a few of his own, Eze, once he starts getting off on the board, you have Madueke, who I'm sure is going to have some hand in the goals. Gyokeres looks like he's always hungry for the goals, like he feeds off it. Add in Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz when he comes in, Martin Odegaard, and you start to feel really good about the squad. I know it's only the 4th game of the season. I don't want to jump out the gym too soon, but I do think that there is a different feeling when it comes to this season with Arsenal. We look very solid. We look very assured. The depth in squad is there. We have some youngsters coming through from the academy. We have some of our big hitters not really quite up to the mark yet. And even some of our players looks like they have 1-2 levels to still elevate. All in all, while we are doing that, while we are going through the motions and playing ourselves into form, we've scored 8 goals. We've conceded only 1. We have 9 points out of 12. We look very, very, very good. So, who's my man of the match? I think there was a lot of great performances today. We've had a lot of people, in my opinion, play at a 7 or higher in their respective positions. But my personal man of the match is Martin Zubimendi with his beautiful first goal and his fantastic second goal, putting us 3-0 up. I think he showed a real top performance today, and not just in the goals, but also in dictating the play, making sure that he keeps it ticking. He was always there and available for a pass in midfield. He put out fires in transition. He just really put on a top performance, as close to a 10 as you can get for a midfielder, but I would give him a 9 and say that he is my man of the match. So please tell me who you thought was man of the match down below. What are your thoughts and feelings regarding this team moving forward this season? Next up is Athletic Club at the Champions League. It will be our first game of the season in the Champions League. And I think they're second right now in La Liga as we speak. So won't be an easy game. I know it's early in the season, but I fully expect them to come intent on getting the 3 points. So I know that we're going to pick a strong lineup. Please let me know what your predictions are for that game. Let me know who you thought was man of the match. Let me know what your thoughts are for the season going forward. This has been Staff Talk Sports. I will see you all very, very soon.